Hey fam, I'm not ready to subscribe to FM, XM stereo, but I tell you, I think I'm gonna miss it when this 1 year for the brand new car thing is over with. But anyway, I was just listening to Gladys Knight. Neither one of us wants to be the first to say goodbye, and stop and thought, not necessarily about my marriage, but I stopped and thought, when I'm writing songs, I like to think about when I'm trying to find something new. I think about stories. I think about stories have prequels, they have sequels, they have alternate endings, how somebody else would have done it if they were going to tell a story. And I stopped and thought, I said, neither one of us wants to be the first to say goodbye, but what happened when somebody finally did? Because I finally said, okay, no, I'm tired of this. I can't do this. Okay. So what happens when somebody finally says, okay, look, I don't want to hurt you. I don't want you to hurt me. We got to go. Somebody brave enough to step up. What happens after that? And everybody's got a different story. Some people may have regrets. Some people may not want to let go at all. That's how you wind up with baby daddy, baby mama drama. People just won't let go and always starting stuff. So that's an idea for a song, for Songwriters Challenge. But actually, there's a bunch of ideas that's hit me over the last few hours. And like I said, there's a lot of writers that always say, I'm looking for something that's kind of new that hadn't quite been said. So I want to share another idea that hit me that was kind of profound. I thought about rites of passage. I thought about the fact that every young man, just like every woman, gets to a certain point of age and they have to prove themselves, or they feel they have to prove themselves to no longer be a kid, to be an adult, not by age, but by maturity. And I stopped and thought about folk songs that talk about stuff like that, coming into realization of things, like the song like Daughters, and mistakes that were made in raising a kid when you didn't get to teach them things, like Jim Croce it was Harry Chapin, Cats in the Cradle. So I stopped and thought, I said, rites of passage for me, I'm pretty much a self-made man. My dad died when I was little, and then the military kind of raised me. The military as a whole was my dad, so to speak, along with uncles and good male figures that were in the area, some not so good, but bottom line is you are, what you take in. And I stopped and thought, so my rite of passage was going through the military basic training and surviving all that and all the stuff that comes along with that. Some folks is going off to college, living alone. Some people is going through gang initiations, and some people is going off to jail. I thought about all these different things we see as rites of passage. We've been influenced by the media or people that are in our social influence, like our family or friends or whoever. And for some odd reason, we feel we need to assimilate, we need to do these things in order to be accepted. And I stopped and thought that'd be a really cool idea for a song. And it could be spun any kind of way, because remember, when you write, you speak from your perspective of it, so it can be gangster rap-ish, it can be folk-ish, it can be very respectful. I prefer to do things a little bit more respectful, not to disrespect anybody for living a hard life, but just pointing out that, hey, look, you don't have to go that way. So I stopped and thought, I said, man, like my son, for instance, I'm trying to teach him things, like when's the last time you did something that really scared you, like getting on the bus by yourself going somewhere. I want to take him skydiving if I can get off work long enough to do that. But that's something I hadn't done. I'm not scared of, always wanted to do. So I said, well, Dad, 18th birthday, we're supposed to do that together, but I've been too busy. But that would be kind of like one of them rites of passage, so that we can, test his fortitude, and push himself over that limit. And I stopped and thought, I said, there's a lot of things we can do, to prove that rite of passage. But even without that, I also think back to history. You think about the civil rights movement. You think about people finally standing up for what they believe in, not just men, but women, but people in general, rites of passage, civil rights, all types of rights. I stopped and thought, man, that'd be a really cool idea for a song, like an anthem. And it'd be timeless, because people are forever trying to find themselves and prove themselves. But what is most important that I want to get across to my son and young people that want to prove themselves, you don't need to go to jail to prove you're a man. You don't need to have a baby to prove you're a woman. There's all kind of things, and I'm not being bougie, but it is what it is. So I stopped and thought, I said, maturity is what to me defines, your manhood and your adulthood. When you are at a point where you recognize the things you do are your responsibility to take ownership of. If I do wrong, if I go out, if I cheat on my wife, if I do this, if I steal something, if I go to jail, bottom line is there's consequences. That's another song idea that I was working on. But bottom line is, everything comes with a consequence. You know, they say you got to pay taxes, and look, you don't have to do anything but live and die. Two things: live and die. Everything else you do or don't do comes with a consequence. That's another idea for a song. You know, so consequences. Damn. So now I got to do this because I didn't do that or whatever. But yeah, for rites of passage, just stop and thought. The things we do, when we finally come into our realization that, you know, we're mature enough to make good sound decisions, not just based on mistakes we've made, but mistakes and good things that other people have done, so that we don't have to reinvent the wheel, knocking our heads up against the wall. We can look and see what other people are doing wrong and learn from that, see what other people are doing right that are being successful, see what they're doing about that. But anyway, Songwriters Challenge, that's the idea for today. And this is Australia. I'm out.